Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another Speedcast interview session. I am your host, Julio. I'm very excited today. We have the multi talented Kayla Compton that's going to be joining us in a few minutes. So, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We were having some technical issues. Sometimes things happen with technology, and so we were able to figure them out. So she's going to be joining us in a few minutes. So before she Kayla joins our live, just wanted to let you guys know that she will be taking your questions. So at the bottom here on the live, the IG live, there is a little question mark bubble. So once Kayla joins us, please click on that bubble down there to submit your questions for Kayla, and she'll answer your questions, the best she can. Make sure that your questions are decent questions, you guys. So um, please be decent. Okay. So we have Kayla here. So let's bring her on once again. Today's guest is the multi-talented Kayla Compton from the CW Flash. Let's bring her on. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, hello. How are you?
I'm
Find
doing
a fun.
well.
I'm gonna find a fun filter that I like.
How are you doing?
I'm so good. I am so good. I'm so busy. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Kayla, for making the time. I know you're extremely busy. So I truly appreciate making the time and being on my Speedcast. It means the world to me. I truly love your work. You are an inspiration to the Latinx, to the Latinos out there
Oh,
that are trying to, break into the business. So thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much for saying that. So happy to be here.
And congratulations, before anything else, congratulations on a successful season 6 and now season 7.
Yeah.
Uh, how has this journey been? How has this ride been for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, season 6 was amazing. This year was insane. We only have 2 more episodes left to film. We've done now 16 full episodes during a pandemic. It's amazing. It's a miracle that it all happened. So this year has been quite the whirlwind, but so much fun. I mean, it's just been such a blessing for me. I've lived full time in Vancouver now, which is different for me. But yeah, I'm just so thankful for every piece of this.
And congratulations for now being up to a season regular and officially being part of Team Flash and being part of the cast. How, when you heard that news, what was your reaction?
I mean, I was shocked. I when I first booked the show, I think that they had in mind like 3 episodes for me. I think is what I was told later on. So to just continue to get episodes, I was reading the scripts as they would come along, and they hadn't killed me yet. So I was like, like maybe I can come back. And then to find out, I think I had done 12 episodes on season 6 before I found out that they were bumping me up. And it was like a week or so, I think, before my birthday. It was around my birthday. And so it was just the best birthday present I could have gotten. It was amazing.
That's awesome. That is definitely a great birthday present. It's like, what do you, I mean, you got your wish before you even blew out the candles. Isn't that awesome?
It's incredible. So much fun.
You talked about moving to Vancouver full time now. I know you grew up in Florida,
Yeah.
um, you know, um, in the Tampa area, correct?
In Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So, that warm weather. You still get that warm weather down there. So I know Vancouver can be cold. How
Mhm.
has that transition been for you?
It's not fun. I just don't think I'm not made for the cold. You know, that's all I've known is Florida or Southern California. So I've been incredibly blessed and lucky to have like amazing to perfect weather my whole life. And the problem here, I can be okay with the cold for a little bit. I'm looking at my husband like, right? No. It's the rain that is just a kind of unbearable because it doesn't let up. I mean, right now it's sunny though. As I'm speaking, it's a beautiful day. But
Oh, nice. I hear all these stories about the weather up there. You think about like the Seattle area, right? And you think about grunge music, right? And I always tell my kids, I say, there's a reason why all that amazing grunge music came out of the Seattle area, and why all the amazing music comes out of, England, right? Or the London area, because
yeah,
honestly, they're stuck inside their house because it's raining, and they're writing all this music, right?
totally. Yeah, it's interesting to think of it that way. I'm sure a lot of really great artists come out of, a lot of artistry comes out of our hardship, right? So like that's an example of that.
It's going to be amazing to see how much artistry is born from the COVID, from being isolated, right?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, whole new generation of people. Also, like the TikTok generation, I feel like the way that art is being made and the way like it's influenced media and editing and the way music is used, it's just gonna be really interesting. Yeah, like you said, to see sort of what comes with this new era.
You know, I gotta ask you also, is there any real good Latino food up there in Vancouver? Is there anything you miss? I know you live down here in LA, so I don't know if you like Mexican food or like sushi because over here in LA it's a melting pot. You could get whatever you want anytime you want. In and out. I don't know if you eat in and out, but how is it up there?
Yeah, there's good sushi here. Um, it, we're struggling to find good Mexican food here, but we're so lucky in LA to have the best Mexican food, right? And so it's a bit of a struggle here, but I try to make my own food, and then I've been here for so long now, so there's a couple places that are decent that I think I've convinced my brain that they're good, but then I'm like, is that just because I've been here for so long and I forget like what it tastes like? It's a struggle.
um, I can imagine, and I think I would switch places with you if I could. Honestly, I mean, I would miss In and Out, or I would miss my Mexican food, or my sushi, or my Middle Eastern food that I love out here in LA. But if I could land a role like you have, I mean, totally, I would just totally switch places with you.
Oh yeah,
Um,
not complaining.
so I gotta ask you, the cast. Um, how have they been towards you since you were up to a season regular? I've spoken to Teddy Sears, aka Zoom or aka Hunter Zolomon. He didn't know how much he missed it until he went back for his 100th episode. He said it felt so good and felt so great to pull up to the driveway there at the studio, because everyone is so welcoming. How has that
Yeah.
experience been for you?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, it sounds cliche, but these people have really become my family, especially during COVID, right? Because we're kind of all each other has. And there's rules, and also you just feel scared about like meeting other people, and so like we've become each other's community. Like Danny Nicolay and I live in the same see her like every day of my life, and I just don't know what I would have done without her and the rest of the cast and crew who are so incredible and so kind, so welcoming. Especially during this time. But even last year, um, I think it's fun when you get new people on the show. They bring a new energy, and so everyone was really receptive to like my energy and Brandon's energy as we came onto the show, and I think we all just felt like livened up to be like with new people. So it's just been a really like great time.
That's awesome. You know, you definitely you touched on the energy. You and Brandon have definitely brought that new energy to the cast, and I think it's amazing. You know, it's fresh, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's so fresh, and I love that. So I gotta ask you. So you know, there was a scene this season where you know we lost Nash. Spoilers, you guys. If you guys haven't seen it, I apologize. That scene was very heavy, extremely heavy. You know your emotions were perfect. I mean the way you portrayed your emotions. So you know there's all these acting techniques out there. You know there's the Stella Adler, there's the you know Stanford Meisner technique. Where did you go, if you could tell us, where did you go to pull that emotion during that scene?
Um, well, so my teacher that I studied with the longest in Los Angeles, his name is Gregory Berger Sobek, and he's with the Berg Studios in Glendale or Atwater. And for anybody in the LA area that's looking for a teacher, he's amazing. He comes from Yale, actually, Yale Drama. He was a graduate, and he's a teacher there. And so he pulls from the technique that they teach at Yale. And so he kind of teaches a mixture, right? It's like whatever works for you, whether it's sort of substitution. In other words, you know, my father figure is dying in the show, right? So substitute that as if your relative were dying. Or it can just be all imaginary, where you're actually just pulling from sort of imaginary scenarios, and you've created in your own mind, you know, scenes from your imaginary past and things like that. So it kind of depends for me. If I can connect on it on a really personal level already, then I'll like draw from that. And if it's not connecting, like I'm like, oh, I don't resonate with that, then I'll make up a lot of imaginary scenarios for myself and work that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it hard to break from that emotional state for you? Does it take you time? Because you know I know there's some actors that the director yells cut. Hey, what's for lunch? There's other actors, you know, that as soon as they yell cut, it's like, hey man, I need a minute, bro. Give me a minute. You know, I
Yeah.
need to recover. How
Yeah.
is it for you?
Yeah, I think for the most part I'm pretty like as soon as it's cut I'm like, okay, what's for dinner, you know. But for scenes like that, it is a little bit more difficult just to like pull yourself back into reality. And in fact, I remember shooting that scene, and I'm trying to remember. I believe we shot this scene before we broke for the year last year before COVID hit, if I'm
Hmm.
remembering correctly. And I remember I was getting so worked up that I had a mini panic attack, and I didn't know why it was happening. And then someone was like, "Well, are you doing a really emotional scene?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I am." Like I think my body was just anticipating like what was gonna happen in the scene, and that's kind of what happens, right? In acting is like your mind convinces your body that this is happening. And so if your body is like on autopilot and it's like, okay, well, fight or flight, or, you know, I'm in this emotional situation, it's hard to then be like, okay, just kidding, you know?
Yeah, that fight or flight is kind of scary. I know what you're talking about. Your body starts to heat up, and you start to, you know, it's
Yeah,
scary. I've been there, and oof, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Um, so I gotta ask you, when you get your call from your agent that you landed this role,
Yeah. When did I get it?
well, how was, well, before we get to that,
Yeah.
when you read for this role, you know, DC is notorious for not telling you what you're reading for, or you know, Berlanti slash DC, they'll have you read
Yeah.
for a different character, They won't even tell you it's a DC character,
Yeah.
and then you read for this role, and you're like, "Oh my God, that was weird. What was that all about?" And then you get the call,
Yeah.
and they say, "Oh, by the way, you just read for this character." How was that experience?
Yeah. It was a different name. In fact, I want to say maybe, no, I can't remember, but it was a different name. It wasn't Allegra. Um, when I auditioned, and so I didn't know that. And like I said, the role kind of grew. So when I first auditioned, it said one episode and possible recurring. So there was a little bit of mystery as to like how much they wanted from me, and so, which was probably good, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm auditioning for one episode. The pressure was a little bit off, as opposed to, I think if I had walked in and it was like, you're auditioning for series regular, I would have freaked out a little bit more, probably. And then, so I auditioned twice, and then I got a call on a Friday, and my agent was like, you know, the producers love you, and they've approved you, and so basically it has to go through like the hierarchy of everyone. So the studio has to approve you, and then the network has to approve you. And so, like, cool. I was at a wedding at the time. I was like, I kind of booked it. Like, I almost booked it. It was a weird space to be in. And then I got a call, and he was like, okay, well, they're going to have to wait till Monday to, like, let you know. So I had to go through the whole weekend being like, I think I booked it. And then I officially found out on Monday, and I was ecstatic.
I wouldn't have been able to be.
I
I
know.
wouldn't
It
have had
was,
any food whatsoever at the wedding. I would have been like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God,"
yeah.
and that's awesome. That's a great story.
Yeah.
So when you get the call from your agent
Yeah.
that you booked this role, are you thinking in your mind, "Oh my God, this is a DC role, the fandom that comes with this"? Um, are you thinking all those things? Are you thinking, the Comic Cons and all these things that are going to happen? Are you thinking of all that?
No, I didn't think about the fandom, like the craze of, you know, what is the DC, universe and all of the built-in fans of the Flash. I also just didn't think I was going to be on it for very long. So I was incredibly grateful, and I was like, wow, what a great opportunity. But then it wasn't until I kept getting episodes that I was like, oh my God, like, this is a huge deal. And also, I gained a ton of followers on Instagram, and there was that sort of thing happening to me for the first time. Like fan art, which had never been a part of my reality. I think those were the things that happened a little bit later on, where I was like, oh my God, this is a really huge deal. And now I think I've grasped it a little bit more.
You're so good at what you do. Honestly, your
You.
role is amazing, and your chemistry with the rest of the cast is amazing. Your chemistry with Candace, and you mentioned Denny, and um, it's great. And with the world famous Mr. Tom Cavanagh,
Yeah.
how hard is it? Be honest with me. I've heard stories. I've heard stories. How
Yeah.
hard is it to do a scene with him without laughing?
Oh gosh. We had like a lot of dramatic stuff. So it wasn't. I mean, we call cut and the camera stopped rolling, and he makes all his jokes, and he's the magnanimous Tom Cavanagh. But while we were filming, it was so it was okay. He was very generous and like so much fun to play with, like in a scene. But yeah, he's the biggest character I think I've ever met.
I can imagine. I've seen some of the stuff, the outtakes, and he just gets silly and
Oh yeah,
uh, you know keeps
yeah,
keeps everyone loose, right?
yeah, for sure.
Um, I got to talk to you about the diversity of a Berlanti produced show. Um, One of the things I love about his shows are there's so much diversity in the cast.
Yeah.
You have, and I love that. And you're not the first Latina Latinx character to be on the Flash.
Yeah.
Um, how does it feel to be, a Latinx character and being on the Flash, a very popular show that's watched by the whole world? How does it feel to be someone that other aspiring actors can look up to, and how do you feel? Is that something you want to take on and say, hey guys, it is possible. If I can do it, you guys can do it. How do you take that on?
I don't think about it a lot. At least not in those terms. Otherwise, I feel like I'd put a lot of pressure on myself. I don't think about being like a example or like a role model or like. But I recognize how important representation is, and I know that when I was watching, TV as a kid, and when I started to decide that I wanted to be an actor when I grew up, you know, I looked to those actors that I thought represented me well, and they made that dream sort of fester and like become what ended up becoming a reality, right? Um, so I definitely acknowledge how incredibly important it is. I try not to put any pressure on myself about it, but I want to encourage anyone, right? Because it is our show is incredibly diverse, and it's just like such a beautiful representation of like what the world is like, right? So like I always tell people like go after your dreams. If acting is the thing you want to do, like go for it and really see if that's the thing that you want. And if you're seeing yourself represented more and more, like how much more feasible, how much more like a reality can your dreams be? It's important. It's incredible.
Very well said. This year's Oscars, I don't know if you got to see the Oscars, but there was a lot of diversity at this year's Oscars, and I think it's a
Yeah.
step in the right direction. you know, um, I think Hollywood could do a lot better, but we're hopefully baby steps, right? We're getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I hate to pick on Friends because I know, Friends is such a great show, but let's be honest, in all of New York, there's got to be some Latino somewhere.
I
You
know.
know, there's,
I know. Friends is
you
like
know,
the example, right? Because it's like that was such a great show. It's so funny. It's all these white people. Like, it's
and,
I
and
hear
and
that
that's
brought up a
beautiful.
lot. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. But in New York, there's Puerto Ricans, there's
Yeah.
Dominicans.
It's New York.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, casting. Let's get some folks in there. Let's get some representation. But I
Yeah.
think I think the there's some films that are coming out. Steven Spielberg's coming out with what West Side Story, the remake. So
Mm,
I'm really looking forward to that.
yeah.
Uh, there's going to be a lot of representation there. So
Yeah.
the Crazy Rich Asians phenomena, which was I thought that was amazing. So
Yeah.
much, that was great. I would love to see maybe a Latino Latinx movie in the same limelight or the same way that Crazy Rich Asians had that impact. I would like to see something like
Yeah.
that for the Latino X community. Hopefully
Yeah.
something's working on that. There is a movie coming out, a DC superhero movie. Finally, we're getting one where there's a Mexican American superhero, the Blue Beetle. I don't know if you heard they officially announced that. So I'm
Oh,
very
amazing.
excited about
Yeah.
that. Um,
That's amazing.
I think we're getting there. What do you think about the baby steps that Hollywood has been taking?
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I mean, I think it's about just giving people shots, right? It's not like there's a lack of diversity or a lack of people of color or, the mixture of people exists. It's not like there's a lack of us. It's just about giving them a chance. And I was going to say, too, as you were talking, like, that's an important job for writers, too, right? Writers and creators to tell their own stories. That way, you know, those filmmakers can make those stories. You know what I mean? I just think like writing your story down is the way to start.
Yes, the writers are I mean, those are the guys that you want to bribe all the time, right? When you're on set.
Yeah. You
You
bet.
know, I've heard of people buying them, lunch and all these things, extravagant gifts. Dude, do not kill me, bro. I love this show. Please, do not kill me. Do not.
Here's a donut. Here's a Starbucks.
Yeah, something, right? Hey,
Yeah.
come on, dude. I'm enjoying my time here on the show. Why are
Yeah.
you writing me off? Come on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very well said. So, I heard that you're a huge Disney fan.
Disney?
I
Yeah.
heard that you're a huge. So, I gotta ask you, if you could play any role, any role, if Disney came to you and said, Kayla, you can play any role you want, which role would you want to play in the Disney universe?
Oh my God. Uh, I love Meg from Hercules, or maybe Esmeralda.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to think about this. I'm like, so many options. Let's be real. I would take any Disney role probably.
And I know that, you're from Florida and you're from California, so I gotta ask you, Disneyland or Disney World?
Uh, um, I've only been to Disneyland is the California one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I've only been to Disneyland once. I think I would say Disney World. Is that like sacrilege?
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
They have a
I've
lot
just
more,
been
they
so
have
many
a lot more.
times. That's my childhood. It's bigger, right? No. Yeah, it's bigger.
Uh, eh, that's fine. I mean, they have a lot more room over there than we do. We don't have as much space as they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so before you booked this role, were you into any of the DC universe or the Marvel universe, or were you into any of that prior to landing
Um,
this role?
like as much as the next guy, I wasn't a huge superhero person, no. But since I
No.
watched the show, I love them now. Now that I'm learning about them, and now that I get to, actually be in a comic book, that's incredible. But no, I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up reading comics. It just wasn't something in my family or around. I always feel so bad saying that, but it's true. I was watching Disney movies, not reading comic books. But I so appreciate it now, and I just feel really lucky to be a part of the universe.
Kayla, you're welcome to our geeky and nerdy world.
Yes,
We accept you.
thank you. I so want to be accepted.
Too bad that Comic-Con got canceled last year.
I know.
I always make sure that I go down to San Diego Comic-Con. And I love interacting with the cast. Last year was my first time I got to interact with Tom, and Tom is he's so funny. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Was hoping to, if COVID wouldn't hit, I would have hopefully gotten to meet you in person. But I gotta ask you, before we get to the fan questions, would you like to have a super suit?
Yeah, of course. Except, the actors who have to actually wear the suit, I've heard that they're not the most comfortable. So there is a downside. But of course I love a suit. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I feel for Grant because when he puts on that cowl and
Yeah, it's a lot.
for Carlos is Carlos does his run hot as well? It looks hot, the jacket.
I think so. I think so. I mean, I've never worn it.
I would love to see your character in a super suit. Danielle has to put on the contacts and all that stuff, and that
Yeah.
looks like a lot of work.
I mean, they just do the eyes in post. She doesn't, I don't think she
Oh,
has
they
to wear
do?
contacts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool,
I
because
think that'd be a lot.
that would be painful.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, does the rest of the cast know that you can kick their ass because you know capoeira?
Yeah, they're aware. It was the first thing I said when I met all of them. I said, Kayla. Just so you know, I can kick your ass. I'm just kidding.
Don't mess with me, guys. Don't mess.
Yeah.
I do not want to do retakes. You guys better get get it on the first try. Get on the first take. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's get to some of the fan questions. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Can you see the first one, Kayla?
What is the funniest behind-the-scenes moment that was on Flash? There's so many good moments. I feel like we've had a lot of funny, like bloopers this season. I'm excited to see the blooper reel. I feel like I got more comfortable with everybody this season, and so I was more willing to like goof off a little bit. There's a lot of dancing that happens. I guess something that's coming to mind is there's a scene with Carlos and I, and Grant's there too. Nah, just kidding. And but Carlos and I have like a moment where we have to like look at each other. I think it was in this last episode that aired actually. Yeah, where the ball is being thrown around and Barry is telling us to duck, and we look at each other and then we have to duck. But when we were filming that, there was so many times where like we kept messing up the timing, or like we didn't know like when to duck. So there's so many times where we were looking and then we'd look at each other and then we were just staring at each other. We didn't know when to duck, and then we would just start laughing. It was like uncomfortable and weird. Yeah, there's lots of funny moments.
That's where that method acting comes in, right? Where you have to pretend that there's a T-Rex running after you or whatever, right?
Yeah, totally.
I can. Oh my God, I can imagine. Let's see. Let's get to another question. Thank you so much for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. There's another question.
Does Allegra still have Frost Jacket from season 6? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I think so, right? She took it, and then we never really, yeah, I think so.
Someone wants to hear your Espanol.
Hola, me llamo Kayla Compton. Vivo en Vancouver. Soy de Florida. Estoy aprendiendo español y es muy difícil.
Very, very nice.
Gracias.
Very nice. Sí se puede.
Se puede, sí.
Someone just said.
You say hi from a B-Day. Hi, Billy5189. Hi. Happy birthday.
Let's see. Someone said that.
Wait, I don't see. Oh, I don't see a new one. Is there a new one?
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, if you don't see it, someone said, "What Marvel character would you like to play?"
Marvel? Captain America.
Nice.
What is your
My
favorite?
wife would agree with you. My wife would agree with you, by the way.
Yeah? Man, be the leader. Hey Kayla, what's your favorite scene that you guys filmed? Gosh. There was a scene I got to film with Tom, that was for episode 3, I believe, that got cut. And I was so sad that it got cut because it was a really, like, emotional scene between us. But I'm hoping, you know how when they do the bloopers at the end of the season, they sometimes give you, like, deleted scenes? So I'm, like, hoping maybe it'll be included in one of those. It was a good one. I wanted to see it.
Sometimes the directors don't want to give us those scenes, right? It's like, I'm gonna
gotta
hold
make
on to
time.
it. Yeah. Someone from Chile says hi.
Hi. Hi, Chile.
Let's see. Looking for more questions here. Oh, I gotta ask you, can Esperanza, aka Alexa Barajas, can she be saved? Can you save her?
Can she be saved?
Or is she gonna remain evil for the rest of her life?
I I mean, I think Allegra loves family and is so loyal, and I imagine it would be her dream to save Esperanza. Yeah.
You know, your character has so much compassion towards her, you know, towards her cousin, right?
Yeah.
And you know, she just doesn't want any of it. And and I've told her this. I've told her that her sinister ways are they're so intimidating, right? But you know, it's such a you know, I love the friction that you guys have. You know, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Your chemistry is great too. So kudos to you. Um,
She's a blast.
Thank you so much. You are awesome. You totally rock. I truly appreciate you coming onto my speedcast,
Of
and
course.
I will, you know, I can't wait to see the rest of season 7. Is there anything you would like to say to your followers, to your fans that are on the live now?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Happy birthday to all of you, and hello to all of you. And just thanks so much for loving the show and watching the show. And you guys are awesome.
Very well said. Very well done. You are a true inspiration.
Hey.
Seriously, you know, I can't wait to see more of your work. I can't wait to see, you know, where this takes you. And once
You.
again, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. And, you know, have a very enjoyable rest of your Saturday
Thank you.
and take lots of care.
Thank you. Right back at you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. You guys have a very enjoyable rest of your Saturday. Everyone be safe out there. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.